people who vote for us should be more important than somebody who's spending $1 million, $10 million, or $100 million to help us get elected, because we don't know what their agendas are.
Barack Obama on the Citizens United case, a landmark ruling, really, that gives U.S. corporations and advocacy groups the ability to pour millions into political campaigns. Canadians often pride themselves on our efforts to prevent deep pockets from having too much influence here. But with our own federal elections looming, a new breed of political action group is rising up and getting around some of those traditional election laws. Those laws cap how much individuals can give to a party. Donations from trade unions and corporations are banned entirely. And there are strict limits on how much political parties are allowed to spend on ads in print or on TV or radio. But now there's an explosion of third-party political action groups influencing voters, and many of those old restrictions don't apply thanks to a kind of lucrative loophole. Social media is free, and they can use it to target millions of voters. Ontario Proud is a small C conservative third-party group that was instrumental in influencing voters during the recent Ontario election, with viral content ranging from serious critiques of the Liberals' policies like this.
She said she'd lower hydro rates. But according to her government's own documents, hydro bills will skyrocket to $215 a month. With a record like this, how can we believe anything she says? We can't trust Kathleen Wynne. We just can't.
There's also shareable memes, like these ones. Winter won't go away, or friends don't let friends vote for Wynne. And shareability, well, it's the key to success. Ontario Proud's Facebook group has more than 400,000 likes. It's a key measure of engagement. That's more likes than the Ontario Liberals, NDP, and Conservatives combined. And the group's content on Facebook has racked up more than 67 million views. Ontario Proud is not officially connected to any political party and maintains it's a grassroots movement supported by about 1,300 donors. There are sister organizations in Alberta, British Columbia, and now Ontario Proud is setting its sights on the upcoming federal election, saying in a recent fundraising email, just like we did with Kathleen Wynne, Ontario Proud is building a war chest to take down Justin Trudeau. So, yeah, there's lots of groups on the left and the right popping up ahead of the federal election. Ontario Proud just happens to be one of the most successful. And then just this week, a document was posted by Press Progress, a competing organization on the left, showing Ontario Proud was soliciting donations as high as $250,000 from individual donors this summer to try and target and mobilize voters and to, quote, build and leverage a Get Out the Vote network and activate strategic voting program plans in key electorate battlegrounds. Before he built Ontario Proud, Jeff Ballingall was a Conservative staffer in Stephen Harper's government and worked for the Sun News Network. So, Jeff, you told me about a year ago that you started with like 100 likes, and now you have more than 400,000 likes on the Ontario Proud page. How on earth did you do that?
Initially started about talking about hydro bills and taxes and Kathleen Wynne's scandals, and our message really resonated. And I've experienced in politics and digital media, and used that expertise and made sure that our message grew, and people responded. So we got to 100,000 without spending a cent on advertising.
Without a cent?
No.
Wow. And now, how much do you spend on advertising?
It depends. Right now, I think like $1,000 a month this last month, but I mean, it all depends on where we are in the election cycle.
I'm sure you've seen it recently. There's been a report of a fundraising appeal that was found on a website that shows you seeking up to $700,000 from donors to run Ontario Proud in some of these campaigns. Is that true?
Yeah, that was one of our memos. Yeah, that was the election limit.
And one of the appeals is for sponsorship opportunities of up to $250,000 from an individual donor. So if you give, say, $100,000, what do you get for that?
You get to know that we're fighting for an Ontario that has lower taxes, less regulation. That's going to, was going to go help defeat Kathleen Wynne. That's what people bought into. They bought into our message and our agenda. Do they get to place content on your messaging? We'll work with them if it fits our mandate. So if you buy into what we're saying about our mandate of more humble government, more responsible government, then yes, we'll work with you. We'll work with you.
So you have a massive database. That's worth a lot of money to political parties or to anybody, really. Do you sell access to that?
No, we never do. No.
Does anybody have any access to that other than,
Just
than
us.
you? There's been this long principle of Canadian governments setting up rules by which it's supposed to keep big money out of influencing politics. Is that a principle still worth defending? Because it sounds like things are changing as people are finding new ways to communicate with the public.
I think it's a bigger danger that we have a monopoly on the political discourse. So I don't think it serves Canadians or democracy very well if we have just a few voices, whether it's political parties or big media talking about politics. I think we want to give people the ability to raise money from, whether it's small donations or larger donations, in advance and talk about issues that might never get talked about.
Ontario Proud has been around for a number of years now, and I've never seen you say how much money you raise or who it comes from, ever.
We're going to disclose next month per Ontario Elections Ontario regulations.
But for the rest of the year, we won't know. I'm just wondering, because you're obviously very proud about how you're influencing people politically.
Sure.
But don't they deserve to know how they are being, or how you are being influenced by money, by their money?
This is the
donors' money.
I don't hate the player, I hate the game. I mean, this is the same thing that Lead Now and Dogwood and lots of other groups are doing. We're just playing the same game, and it seems people only started caring because we entered the arena. Before, people were doing this for many, many years, and no one cared. But it's only because a group that's advancing smaller, more responsible government is into the fray that people start caring. That they clutch their pearls like it's some nefarious thing when it really isn't.
It's been great to talk to you about this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks.